Diane Keaton was a celebrated American actress and filmmaker whose career spanned more than 5 decades. She rose to prominence in the 1970s with breakthrough roles in The Godfather, 1972.
There would be no way, Michael. No way you could ever forgive me.
And Woody Allen's Annie Hall, 1977, the latter earning her the Academy Award for Best Actress. Over the course of her 6-decade career, Keaton received numerous accolades, including an Oscar, a BAFTA, 2 Golden Globes, and nominations for 2 Emmy Awards and a Tony Award. In her later years, she was honored with Lifetime Achievement tributes, including a gala by the Film Society of Lincoln Center in 2007 and the American Film Institute's Life Achievement Award in 2017. In October 2025, media outlets confirmed that Diane Keaton passed away peacefully at her home in California at the age of 79. Remember to honor the legacy of this extraordinary actress. Tap the like button and subscribe to keep her memory alive. Born Diane Hall on January 5, 1946, in Los Angeles, California, she was the eldest of 4 children. Her mother, Dorothy Diane Keaton, was a homemaker and amateur photographer, while her father, John Newton Ignatius Hall, worked as a civil engineer and real estate broker. Raised in a Free Methodist household, Keaton was deeply influenced by her mother's brief moment in the spotlight as Mrs. Los Angeles, a victory that sparked Diane's early fascination with performance and identity. She grew up in Orange County and graduated from Santa Ana High School in 1963, where she actively participated in theater and musical productions. After brief studies at Santa Ana College and Orange Coast College, she left for New York City to pursue acting full-time. Upon joining the Actors Equity Association, she adopted her mother's maiden name, Keaton, because another actress had already registered as Diane Hall. In New York, Keaton studied under Sanford Meisner at the neighborhood playhouse and quickly made her mark. By 1968, she landed her first major stage role as an understudy in the Broadway musical Hair, famously refusing to participate in the optional nude scene. Her principled stance earned her attention and led to a Tony-nominated performance in Woody Allen's 1969 Broadway play, Play It Again, Sam, where she overcame casting concerns about her height and won the role of Linda. Career highlights. Keaton made her film debut in Lovers and Other Strangers, 1970, but her true breakout came when Francis Ford Coppola cast her as Kay Adams, opposite Al Pacino, in The Godfather, 1972. Coppola saw in her a unique blend of eccentricity and emotional depth that made her the perfect counterpoint to Michael Corleone. The film became the year's highest-grossing release and won Best Picture at the Academy Awards. She reprised her role in The Godfather Part 2, 1974, portraying Kay's growing disillusionment with Michael's descent into power and isolation. Her performance added emotional gravity to the saga, culminating in one of the most haunting scenes in cinematic history, Michael silently closing the door on Kay, symbolizing the final severance of love and morality. Keaton's defining era came in the late 1970s through her collaborations with Woody Allen. After Play It Again, Sam, she starred in Sleeper, 1973, Love and Death, 1975, and later in dramatic works like Interiors, 1978, and Manhattan Murder Mystery, 1993. Allen often referred to Keaton as his muse, and their creative partnership reached its peak with Annie Hall, 1977. Her performance as Annie, a quirky, tomboyish woman with a distinct fashion sense, won her the Academy Award for Best Actress, a BAFTA, and a Golden Globe. More than a role, Annie Hall became a cultural phenomenon. Keaton's personal wardrobe, oversized vests, ties, and fedoras, sparked a nationwide fashion trend and redefined the image of the modern woman on screen. Throughout the 1980s and 1990s, Keaton continued to shine in both comedic and dramatic roles. She starred opposite Warren Beatty in Reds, 1981, earning another Oscar nomination for her portrayal of journalist Louise Bryant. She delivered a powerful performance in Marvin's Room, 1996, alongside Meryl Streep and Leonardo DiCaprio, and became a staple in Nancy Meyers' romantic comedies, including Baby Boom, 1987, Father of the Bride, 1991 and 1995, and Something's Gotta Give, 2003. The latter earned her yet another Oscar nomination and a Golden Globe win, proving that women over 50 could still lead box office hits and romantic narratives. In the mid-1990s, Keaton ventured into directing. Her feature debut, Unstrung Heroes, 1995, received critical praise for its emotional sensitivity. She later directed Hanging Up, 2000, further showcasing her storytelling instincts. Honors and legacy. In addition to her Oscar and BAFTA wins, Keaton earned 2 Golden Globes and more than a dozen nominations. She received 2 Primetime Emmy nominations for Amelia Earhart, The Final Flight, 1994, and a CBS School Break special in 1990, and a Tony nomination for Play It Again, Sam, in 1971. Her lifetime achievements were recognized with numerous honors, including Harvard's Hasty Pudding Woman of the Year, 1991, the Hollywood Film Awards Lifetime Achievement, 2005, and the AFI Life Achievement Award, 2017. She was also celebrated at major film festivals in New York and Zurich. Final years. Even in her later years, Keaton remained active and curious. She starred in the book club film series, including Book Club: The Next Chapter, 2023, one of her final projects. In December 2024, she surprised fans by releasing a novelty holiday single titled First Christmas. She remained engaged with her audience through social media, sharing glimpses of her life, including a joyful Instagram post in April 2025, celebrating her beloved dog. Her final screen appearances included the Netflix comedy Queen Pins, 2023, and a cameo voice role in the animated series Star Wars: The Bad Batch, 2023. As Diane Keaton's long and varied career came to a close, her off-screen life revealed a woman deeply rooted in family, creativity, and quiet conviction. Though known to the world as a fearless performer and fashion icon, those closest to her knew her as a devoted daughter, sister, and mother. She remained close to her parents throughout her life, especially after her mother, Dorothy, was diagnosed with Alzheimer's in the 1990s. Diane cared for her until her passing in 2008, later chronicling the experience in her memoirs with tenderness and honesty. She often spoke of her mother as the emotional compass of her life, the heart of everything good she had ever known. Her bond with her brother Randy was equally profound. He struggled with mental illness, and Diane supported and cared for him until his death in 2021. These relationships anchored her, even as her fame grew. Raised in the Free Methodist tradition, Keaton maintained a spiritual outlook but rarely spoke publicly about religion. Her beliefs were personal, quiet, and deeply felt. Known for her privacy, Diane Keaton never married. She had high-profile relationships with Al Pacino, her Godfather co-star, and Warren Beatty, who directed her in Reds. Yet she famously embraced singlehood, once quipping that she preferred the freedom of being unmarried. In interviews, she focused more on her work and her family than on romance. "Motherhood has completely changed me," she once said. In the mid-1990s, Keaton adopted 2 children as a single woman: a daughter, Dexter, born in 1996, and a son, Duke, born in 2000. She often credited parenthood with giving her life new meaning and humility. Her children were the center of her world, and she spoke of them with deep pride and affection. On October 11, 2025, Diane Keaton passed away at her home in California at the age of 79. News outlets, including People and The Guardian, confirmed her death, noting that her family had requested privacy. No official cause of death was announced, and her passing came as a shock to fans and colleagues alike. She had not been publicly ill, and her final years were marked by quiet creativity and continued engagement with her audience. Tributes poured in from across Hollywood. Friends and collaborators like Ben Stiller and Paul Feig remembered her as one of the greatest film actors of all time. An icon whose warmth, humor, and style left an indelible mark. She is survived by her daughter Dexter and son Duke, who became the most meaningful part of her life's journey. Colleagues and critics alike noted that Diane Keaton's legacy would endure, not just through her films, but through the path she paved for strong, quirky, and emotionally complex female roles. At the time of her death, she left behind a cinematic legacy that spanned drama, comedy, stage, and screen, and a reputation as one of America's most beloved performers. style, and legacy. Beyond her acting, Diane Keaton was revered for her distinctive personal style and eclectic interests. She became a fashion icon, known for popularizing menswear-inspired outfits. Rarely seen without a signature hat, wide-legged trousers, or a loosely knotted tie, her wardrobe choices, first introduced in Annie Hall, became a cultural phenomenon. Journalists often remarked that her fashion wasn't just trend-setting, it was a reflection of her independent spirit. Off-camera, Keaton cultivated a rich creative life. She was an avid photographer, drawn to haunting subjects like doors and storefronts, and published several books showcasing her work. She also built a successful sideline in real estate, buying, restoring, and selling architecturally significant homes across California. Her passion for historic preservation and design was widely admired, and she lent her name to home decor, clothing, and wine collections, turning her eye for style into thriving business ventures. At the time of her death, Diane Keaton's net worth was estimated at around $100 million. Her wealth stemmed not only from decades of film and theater work, but also from directing, producing, and smart property investments. In addition to earnings from hits like Annie Hall, Father of the Bride, and Something's Gotta Give, a significant portion of her fortune came from real estate, where she often sold renovated homes for millions. Her entrepreneurial ventures, product endorsements, and creative partnerships further solidified her financial legacy. Her lifetime achievements were recognized with numerous honors, including Harvard's Hasty Pudding Woman of the Year, 1991, the Hollywood Film Awards Lifetime Achievement, 2005, and the AFI Life Achievement Award, 2017. She was also celebrated at major film festivals in New York and Zurich. Final years. Even in her later years, Keaton remained active and curious. She starred in the book club film series, including Book Club: The Next Chapter, 2023, one of her final projects. In December 2024, she surprised fans by releasing a novelty holiday single titled First Christmas. She remained engaged with her audience through social media, sharing glimpses of her life, including a joyful Instagram post in April 2025, celebrating her beloved dog. Her final screen appearances included the Netflix comedy Queen Pins, 2023, and a cameo voice role in the animated series Star Wars: The Bad Batch, 2023. As Diane Keaton's long and varied career came to a close, her off-screen life revealed a woman deeply rooted in family, creativity, and quiet conviction. Though known to the world as a fearless performer and fashion icon, those closest to her knew her as a devoted daughter, sister, and mother. She remained close to her parents throughout her life, especially after her mother, Dorothy, was diagnosed with Alzheimer's in the 1990s. Diane cared for her until her passing in 2008, later chronicling the experience in her memoirs with tenderness and honesty. She often spoke of her mother as the emotional compass of her life, the heart of everything good she had ever known. Her bond with her brother Randy was equally profound. He struggled with mental illness, and Diane supported and cared for him until his death in 2021. These relationships anchored her, even as her fame grew. Raised in the Free Methodist tradition, Keaton maintained a spiritual outlook but rarely spoke publicly about religion. Her beliefs were personal, quiet, and deeply felt. From the quirky girl in Annie Hall, Diane Keaton steadily established herself as a multidimensional actress. Never flashy, never chasing trends, but always present at the rawest edge of emotion. Yet, Diane Keaton has never been just an actress. She once ventured into directing. Unstrung Heroes, 1995, received positive reviews. Though she didn't continue down that path, the film stood as proof of her independent, delicate, and emotionally intelligent storytelling. Off-screen, she spent hours wandering with a camera in hand, capturing street corners, quiet homes, and fleeting moments with the obsession of someone who truly saw beauty in the ordinary. She lived boldly. She loved deeply. She raised children on her own terms. She stood by friends when it wasn't easy. She aged with grace and grit. And through it all, she remained unmistakably Diane. If her story teaches us anything, it's that you don't need a wedding to feel complete, a spotlight to feel seen, or a script to know your worth. You just need courage and a little bit of style. Diane Keaton didn't just leave behind a legacy of films. She left behind a blueprint for authenticity. A reminder that being different isn't a flaw. It's a gift. And that sometimes the loudest impact comes from the quietest voice. Thank you, Diane, for the laughter, for the honesty, for the hats. You didn't just act, you inspired. And that, more than any award, is the mark of a true icon. As we reflect on her 79 years, we see the full arc of a remarkable life. From the ingénue in Santa Ana to the elegant leading lady who stood up for artistic independence. Diane Keaton didn't just perform, she inspired. She didn't just act, she lived with authenticity, grace, and a fearless sense of self. And that, more than any award or accolade, is the legacy she leaves behind. If this story moved you or sparked curiosity, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another deep dive into the lives of the stars who shaped history. We'll keep bringing you the stories behind the spotlight, the ones you've never heard, but won't forget. And now, we want to hear from you. Drop your thoughts in the comments below.